Today on the Winded Podcast, I'm joined by Elena Calias. We talk about her roles on Dirty Water TV, being an arena host for the Boston Fleet, and the content she's creating right now. Elena really brought the energy, so you don't want to miss this one. The Winded Podcast starts now. Welcome back to the Winded Podcast. I have Elena Calias on the show today. She is a TV host and reporter for Nesson, works on Dirty Water TV, but also is the in-arena host for the professional Women's Hockey League Boston Fleet. Elena, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you? And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm very excited to have you, and you are bringing the energy as an arena host would, so I can totally see how you got that job for sure.
How we do it.
Excellent, excellent. So, Elena, what have you been doing with the Olympic break? Obviously, the PWHL is on break
Yeah,
right now.
which is so cool. Oh my gosh. I mean, Aaron Frankel with the what was it? You probably saw it. It was like all over the news and everything. I know Fox News was posting it, Nesson, her and her like oh my god, why am I blanking on like what the name was? Her like shutout game with like the three
Yeah,
shutouts, I think it was,
three
which is so
shutouts.
sick. So being able to kind of watch that, obviously a lot of them are on like different teams. So we got like, Aaron Frankel on like USA and a bunch of other people, but then also other people on like, I think like Italy has some in Canada. I've been trying to catch up and watch a lot of them because I think it's just so cool to see like all of these like women playing like in the Olympics, which is insane. But kind of on my side, I've been doing some work with Dirty Water TV. We had this Valentine's Day event this past weekend that I was working. So I was doing that, hosting a little show there, which was super fun. It was like a whole stroll on Newbury Street. So I've been doing that. I've been doing some work with them. Some other media work too, and a lot of like out of social media. I mean, I have so many clips from the Boston Fleet as well. So I like have been putting together a lot of different videos, for my social media or like kind of for them. Just kind of in the meantime, but getting super excited for the upcoming games when we're back in March.
It's crazy, and the Fleet are having a great year, first
Oh my
place.
gosh.
It's great to see. I am fully invested. I really just enjoy women's hockey. I think it's its own kind of special thing, and the skill level is just unreal. So it's
Insane.
great to see, and it's great to see the exposure that they're getting at the Olympics right now. Excited for them to come back. Um, but yeah, so how did you get into the arena job at the
Yeah,
Boston Fleet?
I
That's such
mean
a it's not a everyday typical job.
it
So how'd
really
you
is not. Yeah. So I am born and raised in New England. So I've always been like a big Boston sports fan. Since day one, I've been Patriots, Bruins, all the Celtics, Red Sox, all the above, since day one, growing up in New England, going to all these different games ever since I was little. And obviously the Boston Fleet are a very new team. This is only their second like kind of year being like an official professional hockey team, which I think is super cool. But I went to school for journalism, broadcast journalism, and they don't really like talk about, like arena hosting or ton of things like that as like a, it could be like a profession. So I wasn't really too familiar with that, but my school, I went to High Point University, so we were pretty big in like basketball. So we didn't really have like any kind of arena host for that. But once I graduated, I started working on the show in Nesson and kind of doing that, kind of getting more of a feel like the lifestyle aspect, which I really liked more than, I would do like kind of like our school news, which was very different from going from like news to lifestyle to sports. But kind of doing that, all of the lifestyle and like meeting different people. I mean, there's a few times where I interviewed a few like Patriot players when I was on Dirty Water TV. I think Rob Nikovich, I think I interviewed at one point. He was in Cape Cod. So like I interviewed him, interviewing a few other kind of athletes, like kind of throughout the process of being the show in Nesson, which was really cool because it kind of ties back, my interest for like sports that I've always, had. But kind of doing more of the lifestyle kind of drove me into kind of, sports. So I was doing that like all throughout the summer. I'm still doing that right now, a little bit on the side, but I really, I love LinkedIn. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan, but I saw kind of they were posting about it and I wasn't too familiar with the women's professional hockey team, but I saw that listing. I started researching it and I'm like, wait, this is so cool, especially as a woman myself who is a huge sports fan. And I mean, obviously you don't see that many women in sports. So I really was drawn to that and then kind of, applied and then was in like the process of talking with all of them. And then I was asked to fill in for a BU game. It was a men's hockey game as an arena host. I've never done that before. So it was like a first time ever. I was speaking in front of like thousands of people and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. Scary, but it was like a lot of adrenaline that I was like, this is so fun. I love it. But kind of after that, a couple weeks later, they offered me the job, which was super cool. The first game was amazing. Like, after the first game and, like, kind of doing that, I was like, "Oh my god, this is electric." The fans are insane. Like, it's crazy. We had our first sold out game a couple weeks ago in January. I think it was against, like, Toronto, and the energy was insane. I think that's kinda what keeps me, like, loving what I do. Like, I love bringing the energy. I love seeing everyone so happy and, like, connected. I'll be walking around and people give me, like, bracelets. Like, they'll have, like, little bracelets, people will make those, like, adults, kids, things like that. And it's just such a community. I feel like people really it's grown so much. I mean, obviously they're very new, but just seeing, like, I was out at brunch the other day and I saw a bunch of people wearing, like, Fleet merch and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so cool," like, obviously you always see people with Bruins, Celtics, but kind of getting all the recognition, and you'll go to Dick's Sporting Goods, they'll have their merch and everything, which is super cool. So, kind of a lot of, starting with the lifestyle and then going to the sports and then starting to really do it. I, like, have been loving it, and like I said, obviously, I'm a Boston sports fan. I have been since day one, and it just makes me so happy that, like, the women's sports is getting, like, as much hype. And I mean, they're actually playing the TD Garden in April 11th, which will be such an insane game. Almost sold out, also, which is so cool and awesome for them. So it's just
I
been
gotta
kind of
get my
a
tickets then if it's almost sold
you
out.
got it. You got to get your tickets. April 11th. They're playing Montreal, but yeah, it's just been such a cool, like, an experience. And, like, kind of the more I do it, the more, like, I love it. And I just get, like, excited to be there and, like, excited in the game and just be with the fans and the players. And it's just, the energy is just always, always there. And it's been so fun.
So I mentioned earlier the success that they're having. How much does how the team is performing just in general or even within the game, how much does that change how you approach your time on the mic?
Yeah, I feel like I always go in with, like, the similar, like, so excited to be here, so excited to kind of bring energy, like, bring the energy vibe. It really depends. I mean, they've obviously been doing, like, so good, and there'll be a bunch of games where it's like, "Alright, not as busy," but then it is still busy. I always make sure to bring, like, the same energy because I wanna keep it, whether there's a couple hundred people, whether there's 6,000 people, I try to bring, like, the energy to every game just to make, everyone have such a fun time. Like, I think the last game, it wasn't a sold out game, but I think they were, like, Gaines, or I think it was Songa Center, so it was kind of a smaller arena, but not as many people as we've usually had, but the same thing. I'm just interacting with the fans. I'm just trying to make everyone that's there, like, excited and happy. So I always try to go in with the same mindset, the same positive, like, attitude that, like, it's gonna be a good game. I'm here to, like, help just energize the fans, keep the energy up. And yeah, I always every single game, no matter the income outcome, I'm always just make sure I'm just having so much fun. And I usually am always having so much fun. Like I said, the games are just so electric that I'm just like I like it. It's just awesome.
They the I haven't been to a game yet, but just
Gotta
everything all the
go.
I gotta go. The clips and stuff that I've seen, just it's so energetic, but it seems like it's like a whole different type of energy than like a Bruins game or a Patriots
Uh-huh.
game. It almost like because of the probably more females in attendance, honestly, not to diminish it to this or compare it too much to it, but it almost seems like an Eras Tour kind of thing where it's like
Yes.
and you mentioned the bracelets,
The
that kind of is
bracelets,
what made
yes.
it click. It's got this kind of almost innocence to it that is,
Mhm.
you know, refreshing in sports. It's not,
Right,
it's
right.
not mean, it's not, degrading or anything. It's just like genuine fun and genuine passion.
And I think that's definitely what's kind of like differentiate them from, like, kind of like the other teams. But it is so, like, the Eras Tour, when you said that's like such an idea. Like, when people gave me the bracelets, I was like, "Oh my god, this is literally like Taylor Swift's, like, Eras Tour." Like, people just have fans have so much fun with it, and they really connect with, like, a lot of the players too. And, like, obviously there's a lot of, like, women that are there, but there's also a lot of, like, men as well as, like, kids and, like, families that just, like, really, like, connect with the team as well as, like, kind of the environment and the community. But like, we people have posters, people will show up right before, like, pre-warm-ups, they'll be out there, get excited to see the fans, and they always have, like, kind of kids come on too, like, for, like, the intermission or games like that, and they just are, like, so excited to be there. And, like, the players are their role models, they're looking up to all of them, and just, like, being there is just so exciting and fun for all of them.
Yeah, there's gotta be something I this just popped into my head. It's gotta be so exciting for the players because this league didn't exist 4 years ago. So for a lot of these players, when they were either coming up or they were already, like, kind of age to be in a league like this, for it to be here now, it's just there just is a different level of appreciation, I'm sure, for
Yeah,
having
totally.
this league to play in and be able to play in front of all of these fans and have the games on Nesson and have the games on, I remember I was watching a lot of games on YouTube the first season. To be able to get that attention for women's hockey is
Mm.
outside of just the Olympics every 4 years is great.
It's insane. It's just so cool. Like I said, like I'll be out like and about and like they'll be on like the TV, if it's like their away games because I'm usually just there for like their home games. So it'll be like, oh, the Olympics are on, they're on, or like I was at dinner like a couple weeks ago before the Olympic break, and it was like they were at a away game, but they were on TV, or people wearing the merch, and it's just so cool to see how much they've grown. And a lot of players are also so young, like a lot of players like my age, like in their 20s, which is like so cool.
Yeah, I'll say I have a very small connection to the Boston Fleet. I used to work at Pure Hockey
Mhm.
and I was a manager and Hannah Brandt came in and
No kidding.
it was a couple years ago and it was she had broken her wrist or her hand, so her glove didn't fit. So I helped her get a size up glove so
Wow.
that she could fit. So I remember the rest of that was the year they went to the finals and I remember
Mhm.
the rest of the season watching and being like, I sold her those gloves.
Those are my gloves.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. No, it's been so cool too. As well as, like, the Bruins too were, like, posting for them, like, all the other, like,
yes.
Boston teams and everything are, like, just as excited as the Boston Fleet are for it,
Yeah,
which has been so
seeing the different athletes walk into the arenas wearing Fleet
Mhm.
jerseys is so cool.
It's so cool, it's awesome, it'll be fun. It'll be fun, especially for the TD Garden game, like, that'll be a good one. And I know that, like, all the other teams are, like, rooting for them, so it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, how are your nerves gonna be for that one? Obviously, that's a
Oh my god,
big venue.
crazy. Because usually, like, I'm used to, for the show Nested, it's, like, just one person, like, obviously, I was so used to doing that, and then kinda the first game, I was like, "Whoa," like, there's like, an echo, there's a lot of people, but, I mean, I feel like just the fun that I have kind of overworks, like, the nerves for the most part, like, I'll just kind of, like, be in a zone where I'm like, "I'm so excited to be here, and everyone else is so excited to be here," like, I'm just talking to people, I'm just, like, having fun with the fans. And I know for the game, obviously, it's gonna be huge. 6,000 people. I didn't know that was a sold out game a couple weeks ago until like right after we played. Like after I had all my hits, like I walked down the arena, like completely full. I was like, oh my god. I was like, that's crazy. This is awesome. Like I had like no idea. And I know obviously TD Garden, that's a big one. Obviously, like I'm already a little nervous, but I know it's gonna be such a fun time, and I know the fans are just gonna be so electric that I feel like it's just the adrenaline's gonna be there, and I'm just gonna be so excited.
That's all you'll need is the adrenaline to
Right?
get
And
through.
that's really all you need. I'm like, I'll be ready.
I do wanna switch and talk about Dirty Water TV a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, Dirty Water TV, I love that show, and it
So fun.
honestly I thought of this morning when I was watching some of the clips. It's, like, almost like the original, like, food influencer, like what you see on
Mhm.
TikTok, people going out to eat. It's like, that's what Dirty Water TV used to be, and that was, like, how you learned about restaurants in different parts of New England. So I love it. I love that it's still going. Watched some of your clips before. Like I said, I watched the Sundancers one. I'm from the Cape.
Mhm.
Love that place. So it's always great to see those kind of places get featured. But I think that's
Yeah.
great. But Dirty Water TV has, like, launched some careers too, which is very Camille Kostek,
I was about to
Kendra
say
Middleton. I
Camille
mean,
Kostak. Yeah,
it
she's blowing up.
so how does that feel kind of, holding that microphone knowing,
I
some of the
know,
people that have gone.
it's exciting, obviously, because I started right when I graduated, I started working with the show, so it was, like, super immediately I graduated, then it was, like, a month later, I was starting on the show, and obviously, I was very nervous, and I was working alongside a lot of other, like, social media influencers as well as, Camille Kostak came back for one episode over the summer. I wasn't there for that, but, she came back, which was super cool, so I think I mean, I was just like, it's just such a great opportunity to grow, and like get that experience and exposure. And then it's also like cool to, see myself on TV. I was at like at a bar a couple weeks ago and it's like, I'm on the TV, which is so cool. Or I was working over the summer and a promo for a commercial that I was in was on TV. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. So I think it's just so cool. And also like, it makes me excited for the future, I guess, to see kind of how far, people have gone with the show. And then, for obviously me doing this and then also the arena hosting, it's just and like I said, I'm so young. So it's just like there's so many more like opportunities that are like coming my way that I'm excited for. So it makes me really excited for the future and kind of excited to be kind of where I am at right now and then to do a bunch of different things as well as meet a bunch of different people. I've met so many cool people through all these experiences, but haven't met Camille yet, but hopefully at some
I
point I will.
I'm
I
sure you
mean,
will. I mean,
like I
I'm
said, she
sure
came back over the summer, but I wasn't there for that one. So hopefully, I mean, yeah, she's still, if you go on her YouTube, like you'll see her from like years ago. And I'm like, that's so crazy.
it is, and, I mean, for being so early in your career, you already have an impressive resume. What would you say you talk a little bit about the future. What kind of do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself, ending up, and what would ideally be your career?
I mean, I know 'cause, like, I do different things, where I'm, like, just in front of the TV talking, but then in front of thousands of people, so very different, but, like, also the same thing. I just love, like, huge, obviously, New England, Boston, so everything around that aspect is, like, I'm, like, so, like, passionate about, as well as just honestly, like, entertaining people and, like, kind of being, like, there to keep the energy and get the positive vibes, like, when I'm interviewing people or if I'm, like, the arena host. So, ideally, in my future, I would love to be able to, continue that, whether it's on, like, a sports show or, like, a some sort of Boston show, I think would be so fun. Just kind of combine, like, all of, like, my love and interest for all these different kind of roles would be really cool. I mean, like, there's a lot of shows, like, on Nessun, like the Let's Be Boston, like, things like that, or Billy and Jenny have shows, or, I'm trying to think of, like, other, like, local Boston or even, like, bigger than local would be super cool. But like I said, my roots are in Boston, so I love it here and I love everything I do, and maybe one day I'll be able to work for, like Bruins or, maybe like in the NFL, like would be super cool. So, I mean, like I said, there's so many like possibilities are endless, and hopefully, ideally, that'd be kind of the goal one day to keep, being on the mic, in front of the camera, engaging with people, talking with people, and just kind of keeping that energy high wherever I end up, whether that's TV, sports, but
It's very exciting for you to obviously be from the area and then to kinda
mhm.
start your career here. Um, my cousin is a news reporter, he works for WBZ, and his goal was always to end up here, and so many people have to start in other parts of the country to get their foot in the
Mhm.
door. So for you to be able to kinda start here and work your way up from here, that's
Awesome.
very exciting.
It's
Very
awesome, I know.
exciting.
I always wanted to, I went to school in North Carolina and, like, I loved being there, and obviously they had, like, a lot of radio stations, news stations, TV shows, but not as big as I've always like, my heart's always been drawn to, like, Boston, so I'm like, "I have to come back, I have to do something in that area." And so, obviously, that's what drove me all the way back here, back home.
So back to the fleet. So obviously you do your spots on the jumbotron, you do your pregame stuff, everything. What's it like during the game? What are you doing during the game? Meeting fans, other
Yeah,
stuff?
totally. Yeah, so during the game, I usually get there a couple hours earlier just to kind of like prep and make sure, meet with the stage managers, meet with everyone, kind of go over, the game, what we got, going on. Cause obviously there's a bunch of different things. Our PA announcer, who's also the Bruins PA announcer, he does a lot of Jake, shout out to him, he's awesome. But he does a lot of uh he'll have a lot of kind of like segments throughout the show, so him and I will kind of talk and get kind of everything kind of ready. Oh, once doors open, I usually have a pre-warm up and a post warm up hit. So we'll kind of scope out, fans are coming in, where we want to do the filming, where we want to go everywhere. The stage managers will always like, kind of pick out. We always have games that we do, whether it's like a Fasten Your Fleet or a sled races. So a bunch of people will kind of like stage managers will pick out those people. So I'll go meet up with them at some point, introduce myself, talk to them, kind of get them ready. Um, a lot of laps. I do a lot of walking on the concourse, a lot of get my steps in for the day, walking up and down, up and down. But yeah, I'll walk around. I always see fans. I always engage with fans. They always engage with me. I mean, especially the little kids, they get so excited too. They'll start telling me about, "Oh my god, we play hockey. I play hockey," and it's like a little girl, and which is so awesome and so exciting. They'll give me bracelets, things like that. So, kind of while I'm walking around, like during the game, I also try to watch the game as much as I can. Like I love like our like opening video is so cool, so I always make sure to like stand there and like watch it. But then yeah, just doing all my laps, talking to everyone, meeting people, and then obviously we have like a bunch of different kind of hits throughout the. I was gonna say the show, but the games, I'll go down, I'll go sit with like contestants and I'll just like talk with them and hang out with them for like 10 minutes, just meet all these people. Last game out was a bunch of little girls and they like another hockey team. A lot of little kids that play hockey always go. So it was a bunch of little girls that were on a hockey team. The whole team was there. So I was sitting with them and they're like, "Oh my god, do you remember us? Like we were here last week." I was like, "Oh my god, yes." And then I saw them again the next week, they were like waving. So it's cute to see those familiar faces and they see you. Obviously they see me on the screen, but they're like, "Oh they'll go up to me, talk to me," which is so fun. It's so rewarding too, to be able to like talk to either like little kids or like older adults and who all share the same like passion.
Yeah, that, the getting young girls excited about it is gotta just be the most rewarding
It's
part of it.
awesome. Yeah.
To be able to, look out on the ice and see, like ponytails hanging out the back of the helmet instead of just having to watch men
Mhm.
play, seeing somebody that looks like them,
Right. Because 'Cause they're
out
all like,
there
"When
playing.
I'm older, that's gonna be me," Like, that's what they wanna do, which is just so like, it's just so rewarding. I I love
Yeah, because
it.
growing up for me it was the only women's hockey you saw was the Olympics every 4 years, and it was
Yeah,
always great
totally.
hockey. The US has always been very good, so it's exciting to see, that talent more frequent
Mhm.
than just the Olympics. Um,
It's fun to
outside of your work with Dirty Water TV and, and the fleet, obviously, tell me a little bit about your social media, what you like to do.
Yeah, so I love social media. I love, like, creating videos, editing videos, posting videos, so I do all of that. So, I do a lot of kind of like on, like, say, TikTok. I mean, TikTok's huge, like, nowadays. So, I do a lot of, like, day in my life, especially if it's, like, for, like, Boston Fleet or if I'm, like, filming that day, like, those will usually get, like, a really good engagement because a lot of my fans are, like or a lot of my followers are a lot of, like, Boston Fleet, like, fans. So, they're like, "Oh, we saw you at the game," things like that. And so which is super rewarding too to, like, kind of, like, engage with those, followers. But I do a lot like I said, like, on my social media, I post, like, a lot of, like, day in my lives, kind of things like that. A lot of kind of New England and Boston focus since, like, that's kind of where I'm from, and that's kind of definitely what my niche is a lot of just around the city. So I do a lot of my social media, my Instagram, my TikTok, kind of things like that. Going through editing my own videos. My dad's a chef in the city, so him and I have a food review TikTok also.
That's that's on my
Is that
my
on your
list.
list? Oh, that's so
I was
funny.
gonna
So
bring up the most underappreciated account on TikTok is Diva and Chef Dad.
Diva and Chef Dad, yes. So, I do a lot of I'll edit all of our videos. So, he'll send me, clips like, "Can you edit this and, like, post it?" So, like, I'll edit his videos, I'll post his videos. So, I do a lot of, like, little things like that, like, with him. So, we recently started that, little TikTok, which has been so fun. I mean, and he loves it. Like I said, he's a chef in Boston. He's been a chef for years, 30 years, 40 years. So he just gets a kick out of it. It's like a
He's
professional
a
chef
natural.
and then
He's a
it's me,
natural.
I'm just like, "All right, we'll get 2 different reviews here." So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of, going to food reviews. So kind of a lot within the social media. Um, and then, I mean, yeah, yeah, editing my dad's videos, editing my videos, creating those videos, and it's all really Boston focused, and I try to keep it like what's like what I'm passionate about. So, Boston, the sports and the TV stuff. So I just kind of get like a whole variety of it all, which has been really fun.
That's great. Well, Elena, this has been so much fun. Obviously, we just plugged Diva and Chef Dad, but why don't you go
Did.
through and list off, where everybody can find you? I think
Yeah,
we got a lot. We
awesome.
got the fleet, we got Dirty Water and your socials, so just
Mhm.
floor is yours.
Just say all my where
Well,
to find me? All right.
yeah, where to find you.
Yeah, no, so, like I said, at Elena Calias, my Instagram, my TikTok, I post a lot of Boston Fleet videos, TikToks, things like that, as well as Dirty Water TV, and then Diva and Chef Dad. If you wanna check out some food reviews by professional chef and arena host Diva here, that's where you can find it.
Love it. Love it. Great stuff, Elena. It was great to meet you. Great to talk
Great
to
meeting
you.
you, yeah, thank you for having me on.
Of course. And I'm going to try to get to that game at the Garden and I'm going to try and meet up with you.
Oh my god, 100%, you gotta be there.
All right. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.